You're watching the 2019-20 SCAC Basketball Media Days. Today we're taking a look into the Austin College women's basketball program. The Roos, of course, have coming off a 20-6 season a year ago, 13-3 in SCAC play. The Roos will once again be led by head coach Michelle Filander, along with senior guard Ann Savage. And Coach Ann, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coach, you're entering your 10th season as the head coach there in Sherman. What do you enjoy most about preseason with respect to the challenges of a new year? And how excited are you just to get everyone back out on the court and playing basketball again?
Preseason is one of our most exciting times, I think, of the year, because we're really focused on us, focused on our process, and kind of just solving our problems. And it gets to be a nice internal place to be where you're not, so worried about outside competition, and get to spend all of that time really thinking about yourself and the program and your team and your teammates. And it's a good time. It's an exciting time.
And you've been through the grind of what preseason presents, but how does it feel different this season as a senior? Do you add any urgency as you go into this year? What is sort of your mindset heading into this 2019-2020 year?
It's been a little bit different this year just because I am the oldest one on the team, so I don't have a class with me anymore. So that's been different, but it's a really good group. We really enjoy our freshmen, a really solid group of juniors this year, kind of taking on that leadership role as well with me. But as far as the urgency, every year I want to win as many games as we can, so that's heightened a little bit just because this is it for me. So we're just kind of taking it day by day, and we're ready for the challenge ahead of us.
Coach, you graduate All-American Bryce Frank, a two-time player of the year in the SCAC. She was certainly a huge part of the team's success on the floor over the last couple of years. What is life now like moving forward? Obviously, I'm not asking how you replace her, but how do you go about trying to sort of fill her role as you move forward with life without her heading into this new season?
For us, it was, we didn't look at it as, and we haven't at all looked at it as it's this big thing that we're trying to replace, or it's this big thing that we're trying to address, or really even think all that deeply about. Instead, we kind of reversed it around and said, what's the opportunity now? I think that if you get into the question of how are you going to replace a Bryce, you're not going to find any answers. So there was no sense in even going there. Instead, it became us sitting down and saying, okay, so what's our opportunities now? What does life look like, and what can we build on from there? And so we just sat down and got to problem solving, and it's gone really well. It's going to be really interesting. Obviously, we're going to look a lot different, and we're going to be okay with that. We're looking forward to that. It's a new challenge. It's a new way to look at things, a new way to play, and I don't think that we're afraid of that. I think that it's been a good kind of refreshing experience for the program.
And second straight season earning second team all-conference, third all-SCAC honor of your career after averaging 8.1 points, 3.7 rebounds per game. I know a big part of your offseason was getting healthy, but what else did you work on as you tried to continue to improve your game as you entered your senior year?
Like you said, a big thing was just getting healthy, getting my shoulder back to 100%, so I'm feeling good in terms of that with my body. It just feels like nothing ever happened. So that's an exciting place to be. And really just working on my game, just trying to develop further, working on my leadership skills, having a role with coach and having a role with the team, and just figuring out what it's going to look like for all of us for the whole season. So I've been enjoying that in the summer, and then also in this preseason as well.
Coach, I loved what you said about looking at this as an opportunity for other players to step in and fill roles. As you've gone through this preseason, has kind of taken inventory, have there been anything that maybe has surprised you a little bit that gives you confidence as you get prepared for a new year?
I think it maybe hasn't surprised me. I think we certainly had an expectation that it was going to happen, but I guess we've been very pleased that it's held to meet those expectations, is that our returning group has, if there was an opportunity to commit a little bit more, if there was an opportunity to even work a little harder, they have found it, and they're executing it really, really well. I think that we're seeing them work at a level that they haven't worked at before and play at a level that they haven't before. And we always knew that that opportunity was there, that potential was there, but to see them actually get it and to every day come in and push to that next place and play in a way that they haven't played before. And even in the little things, and people winning sprints that haven't won sprints before, people being a little bit more physical that haven't traditionally been very physical, I think is it's in those little details, trying to create marginal gains, 1% better in all of the little places.
And the SCAC continues to grow and get better as a women's basketball league and provide a number of challenges. You've been a part of teams that have been challenging at the very top of this league for a couple of years now. What are some of the things that you've learned over the course of your career that you can pass on to your younger teammates that will help this group as they prepare for the challenges of the SCAC?
Really, I think it's just important to keep it into perspective. You know, I've gone through 2 years here where I haven't had any current teammates that have been through those years, so they don't really know what it was like early on for me. So I just try to share with them those experiences and just keep it into perspective. Like, if you have some struggles early on, it's okay, because it's all going to come back together. Like, you're going to keep working. We have a really supportive team. It's not an issue if it doesn't click initially. I just keep working hard and everything will fall into a place eventually.
Coach, this group continues to be a strong defensive team. The second straight year you've led the SCAC in terms of scoring defense. Last year, 57 points per game. That was best in the league. Offensively, though, you were just as strong as well. Second in the SCAC, averaging just over 70.4 points per game. Does one of those sort of fuel the other, if that makes any sense? As a coach, is there one aspect that you enjoy coaching more or like your team to have the identity more, or is it more of a combination of the two that brings this team success?
It's a combination. I think that every year we assess what the percentages needs to be. You know, there's been plenty of years where we've been very, very heavy on the defensive side because we felt like that's where we needed to use that time. So I think, you know, every year we make that assessment as to what that breakdown is going to be. We have traditionally always prioritized the defensive side simply because we've always felt like a really good defense. It's not a situation where you can flip a switch in February and now all of a sudden decide you want to be a good defensive team. So it's something we prioritize as an identity thing from day one, and know that a really good defense in practice every day can make and build our offense, as opposed to an offense demoralizing a bad defense every day. So we kind of want a good stingy defense in practice daily to push our offense along and make it better. So that's kind of how we've looked at that, and we just go back and we're always tinkering, always adjusting, always trying to find a better way to practice. We're always in search of the Holy Grail, and so, but that's kind of how we've approached it.
And as you've had conversations with some of your teammates about some of the goals for this 2019-20 season, what have those conversations looked like, and what are some of those goals as you head into this new season?
So we've kind of shifted our focus this year. Instead of looking at the bigger goal, we're talking more about standards. So our standard is to work hard every single day we're there. You know, if you give it 100%, our non-negotiable is effort. Like, you can never come and just half-ass it. You have to give it all. And so that's really a big thing that we talk about. And then another thing is just communication. Like, we want to let each other know if we miss something. We got to help each other out in practice, explaining it, and also just be really positive encouragers. So that's kind of where more of the conversation is turning this year. And so it's a really nice feel, and it brings a really good energy to practice.
And finally, Coach, you know, this season is successful if what plays out for you on the floor. What are you looking for from this group as far as kind of continuing to take those right steps and continuing to build this program that you put so much work into over the last, 9+ years?
Yeah, I think that I think for us, as we define our success for this year, a lot of it is going to be the evolution of the program and taking kind of this next step forward into doing things a little bit in a different way. And we've made some fairly substantial changes to the way we do things, to the way we approach things, to the way we think about the game itself, to the way that we're coaching it, to the way that we're teaching it and talking about it. And so success for us is going to be to see how that plays out, and just looking to allow it to make us better, and knowing that better can mean a lot of different things. And so that's been a large part of our conversation through the course of the spring, the summer, and this preseason has been around tinkering with some of these things, and just really working to evolve to a different place.
The Austin College women's basketball program, again, the Roos will head into the season under the guidance of head coach Michelle Filander along with senior guard Ann Savage. Austin College will open up the season on November 10th when they take on Rhodes. Coach, Ann, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck as you head into the year.
Thank you.